Gene Rice from Picture the Homeless.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my sisters and brothers in the struggle. I am here representing my organization, Picture the Homeless, because we're following the money trail. Every time we purchase a commodity in this city and pay tax, that tax money went across the street, and that makes us stakeholders in this monolithic organization that used the 14th Amendment that was used, originated to free African Americans, and now has become a corporate haven, and these people want rights without responsibility. We really belong in the boardroom where our money went. I want to let you know that as long as you partake of our tax revenue, you will be held accountable to us, the people who are staking you. Regulation does not equal nationalization. Regulation does not equal nationalization. For too long, corporate entities such as this insurance firm has held hands and been part of an international cartel. From the Rothschilds and the Oppenheimers, they have oppressed people, financed every war, and tried to dehumanize all the Homo sapiens on the planet Earth. Amen. Our organization, Picture the Homeless, is multi-ethnic. We believe in the brotherhood of all mankind, and we believe that God put us all here to share the resources of this vast planet. As populations increase, as medical technology allows us Homo sapiens to live longer, land use is going to be an ongoing struggle. And you're going to find Picture the Homeless in the vanguard of that struggle to make sure that all people share the wealth of God's planet Earth. Thank you.
Here, representing New York citizens who, of course, have lost confidence in Wall Street. Wall Street has lost more than a third of its value. One way that we vote is by withdrawing our money from these institutions. We hope soon to vote in other ways, to vote against politicians who live in the revolving door of corruption with these great institutions. The theater of Wall Street has gone from being a religion that we all bow down to with the big buildings and the suits to a tragic theater in which billionaires lost their money and went to jail. And now it's just a comic theater where Keystone cops are defending empty buildings that we ourselves own. The police have made a tradition of being super conservative. Lately in New York, that's your political position. You defend private property. You don't know the First Amendment, you don't want to know the United States Constitution, and you've got money ready to settle lawsuits against people who simply exercise their basic freedoms as Americans, even though your uncles and grandparents, and sometimes you yourself, fought and risked your lives to defend those freedoms. I'm here to say the NYPD is close to changing. You will change. You can't remain anti-American for such a long period of time without suddenly have something dawn to you. You pick up those old documents that were written by the Founding Fathers. You pick them up and you read them. And when you read them, you change your mind. When you change your mind, you come out here and you realize this is what democracy looks like. We're now going to fan out across this city and begin to exorcise the ATMs. We found a way to project hacking codes straight through our third eye, and we will jumble the numbers inside those accounts. We will rob these banks. We will be pirates for America. The cancer of bank branches will be healed. They broke it. We want it. We want our fair share.
They broke it. They broke it.
We want our fair share.
They broke it.
We want it. We want our fair share. They broke it. We want it. We want our fair share. They broke it. We want it. We want our fair share. They broke it. We want it. We want our fair share.
Really what we want to see is the money to go to funding our communities and not to continue to basically support the companies and the people who have proven to not be able to really keep people at the heart of what is important in this country. You know, we've got folks like AIG putting profits for people, and that's obviously hurting us in New York, and that's why we're out here today to say that AIG, you know, I have a proof of purchase in my bag here. This is my 1040 tax form, and you know, we own 80% of AIG, and what are they going to do as they sell their building for $100 million? And we want to see that money and those profits come back to our community, and that's why we're out here.
And what do you think of the role of Bloomberg and how he's responded to the press?
Yesterday, of course, there was a long piece in the Times in which he talked about the rich and how they're getting a bad rap and how Tim Geithner walks on water. Thanks, hi, Tim Geithner, but Bloomberg is a billionaire. He's the richest man in the city. He's the single billionaire in this entire country who did not lose money last year. So you really have to wonder what's going on there. Obviously he's smart and he plays his cards well, but at this point it's hard to say he really speaks for the people. At the same time he's saying that, he's appearing in ads all over the city with poor people at lunch counters. So which Bloomberg are you asking me about? You know, the ad campaign or the guy who's talking about his friends in the New York Times? I don't know.
Original Homeless is the only grassroots group led and directed by homeless people, and we see a commonality between the money that the taxpayers have been duped into giving to prop up this international financial institution, while homelessness in our city and our nation is at record levels, and abandoned buildings are languishing that can house homeless. There's no money for any of this progressive social justice work, but there's always money for these people to take for bonuses, etc., etc. And it's time for the people to stand up and demand that these financial institutions are held accountable. And we have to understand that when we become stakeholders with our tax dollars, it's these interests and demand accountability. But that does not mean nationalization. I mean, when stockholders invest in stock and they demand a seat at the board meeting, that's not considered socialism. So it's the same principle. You cannot call it socialism when you bail out fat cats and call it a normal free market economy when you bail out the fat cats that belong to the elite, and call it socialism or communism when you bail out the people.
It's kind of like, I think the
housing organizer, Picture the Homeless. It's a matter of policy. Staff don't give interviews, so I highly encourage you to talk to both Linda and Gene. But I'm here to support them in this action, which is about how society chooses to allocate its resources, whether they go to meeting essential human needs or to trying to rescue failing corporations. On a couple of things. Our civil rights campaign is focusing on police harassment in Penn Station, and the housing campaign, which is my main deal, is focusing on our warehousing campaign, buildings being kept off the market by landlords for years for speculation. Our Housing Committee meets every Thursday evening at 6 o'clock. I highly encourage everyone who's homeless or formerly homeless or interested in being an ally to come to that. Our meetings are in our office, 2427 Morris Avenue in the Bronx. That's right by the 4 and D trains at Fordham Road. Our phone number is 646-314-6423, and our website is picturethehomeless.org.